Fox tonight, the tragic story of how quickly domestic violence can turn deadly. A young mother killed and the father of her newborn charged with the murder.
Fox Carolina's Grace Runkle sat down with the young woman's family and brings us her story.
Well, this is 18-year-old Genesis Rice, a mother, a daughter, and now one of the dozens of South Carolina women killed by an intimate partner every year.
Photos show Olivia Wright in happier times, but it's what was happening behind the scenes that led to her death.
A lot of people were aware of what was going on, maybe not to the extent of how bad it was.
The 31-year-old mother of two was shot and killed September 24th of last year. Family says the man who pulled the trigger was her boyfriend of more than 8 years.
Breaking news at this hour, a barricade in Harbor City.
Let's get up to Rich Prickett at Sky 5. Rich?
Lou and Glenn, yes, it's in Harbor City. It's across Anaheim Street and President Ave, where LAPD responded about 9 a.m. this morning to a domestic violence call. Now, as far as we know, there was a husband and wife that was within the home here. The woman has since made it out, but at some point there were some shots fired within the residence, so that has prompted the response of a SWAT team, which is just outside the perimeter of the apartment complex.
Intimate partner violence is formerly known as domestic violence. Examples of domestic violence include hitting, slapping, punching, kicking, pushing, biting, using weapons, forced sexual activity, name-calling, playing mind games, yelling, putting down, controlling of all your finances, threatening to harm your children, family member, or pet, and stalking. Intimate partner violence is any behavior that frightens, intimidates, terrorizes, manipulates, hurts, humiliates, blames, injures, or wounds someone. Intimate partner violence refers to both current and former spouses and dating partners, and non-romantic relationships such as family or household members and roommates.
She's known by many as Lady S, but to me, she's simply Mom. The story she shared with me, and now with you, has been my guiding light through some of my darkest moments. It's a tale of resilience and strength that helped me navigate the aftermath of assault. Her words were like a lifeline on nights filled with sorrow and thoughts of despair. Thanks to her courage and guidance, I found the inner strength to overcome my abuse and seek the help I needed. Not everyone is fortunate enough to have someone as resilient and steadfast as her in their corner. I hope her story inspires you to find your voice and stand up for yourself. And may it serve as a beacon of hope for those who feel unheard and alone.
Figures, I gave you right to die and you gave me games. Love, figures, I know I'm crying cause you just won't change. Love, figures, I gave it all and you gave me shit. Love, figures, I wish I could do exactly what you did. I wish I could hurt you back. Love, what would you do if you couldn't get me back? You're the one who's gonna lose something so special, something so real. Tell me, boy, how in the fuck would you feel if you couldn't get me back? That's what I wish that I
Yes, I'm a survivor of domestic violence. No, I don't mind. The abuse began in 2001 when I first got married, and it literally began a few weeks into a month after I got married. Has mental effects with my memory, also my comprehension, as well as my physical ailments that I have, which include central nervous disorder, fibromyalgia, and neuropathy. I also have speech impediment, and I am deaf. I felt betrayed. I felt used and abused. I felt uncovered. I just felt as though that I was being taken as a joke. I would have wanted someone to help me because now being on this end, assisting with other domestic violence survivors or those that are in the system or situation, it's a little easier to know that you have the power and the strength and the ability to get out and overcome when you have that assistance. Mentally, I isolated myself. I changed my trajectory. I changed how I thought in order to cope with the situation by, psyching myself up, thinking that it's going to be better, although it doesn't get better unless the individual gets help. Many individuals, they don't want the help, especially when you're dealing with narcissistic abuse, because it's all about the control, same as domestic abuse, because it's all about control of the other individual. How it affected me spiritually is that I believe that God was not with me, that God did not care. God did this to me. However, all of those things after coming out of the situation and not being in it, because you know the saying, you can never see the situation for what it is when you're in it. It's not until you're out that you see everything. That I definitely know that God was with me. I'm not 6 feet under or unalive as many people, and I did have the ability and the power and the strength that God gave me in order to get out and then now be a light and strength and power and consciousness to other people. My therapist, my psychotherapist, and my psychologist, and the array of doctors that I have due to my physicalities. Also, now that I have been out for over 16 years, now my friends and my family that I have um, provided an open door for them to return, because a lot of times what people don't talk about when it comes to domestic violence is that even though you isolate yourself to be able to cope, you also isolate yourself from your normal behaviors and your family members and friends, because it's what the abuser has suggested. So now that I have an open door to bring them back, they are definitely helpful with my healing process. Forgiveness is definitely a big portion of it, because you will stay in an emotional, detrimental state if you do not forgive your abuser. I know many have said and heard that forgiveness is not for the other individual, it's definitely for you. And that is definitely true, because the mental anguish and the emotional anguish that it put on me, believing that it was my fault and so many other different aspects to it, it caused more issues with my health because it made me unhealthy, even though I was out. So definitely, you have to forgive the individual, because it will help your healing process and your forgiveness process along, because you can't heal unless you forgive. I definitely know that it's important to share my experience. This is why I am a #1 author of my story and my life. That is a trilogy, From a Hoe to a Housewife, on domestic violence and coming out of it in the process, and how that looks, especially over time. Because I will say this, the truth of the matter is, once you're out, that is the first step of safety and security. There's a lot of processing, understanding, clarity, and healing that you have to do. One of the things that I want everyone to understand that is that healing in life is definitely the biggest aspect of one's journey. If you're out of the domestic violence situation, understand that you have the ability to stay out with your mind, consciousness, power, and strength. And always remember that you can do and be whomever you desire to be and whom you have designed to be. And always remember, all things work together for the good of them that love God and are called according to his purpose. You are called and you have a purpose. Always remember it.
The National Domestic Violence Hotline Advocates are available 24/7 every day of the year. They can be contacted through teletype, via phone, or text by the numbers provided below. A live chat can be accessed through their site at thehotline.org. You can also contact them or follow them on various social media platforms, which include Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.